We know it's a multi-million-dollar merger between two large health systems, but what will it mean for you if you get sick? Breaking down the Lehigh Valley-Hazleton Health merger, our top story on News 13 at 4:30.
From the Samson Production Studios in the heart of Hazleton, Pennsylvania, it's your News 13.
Good evening, and thank you so much for joining us. I'm Kathy Bazinski. The formal agreement may be signed, but there's still a lot of work ahead for the Greater Hazleton Health Alliance and its new parent organization, Lehigh Valley Health Network. Christina Papa spoke with the president and CEO of the Health Alliance to find out what's in store for the alliance and the people who turn to it for health care.
The papers have been drawn out and signed. Now Greater Hazleton Health Alliance hopes their merger with Lehigh Valley Health Network will offer big city medical resources to the Greater Hazleton community.
Becoming part of a larger organization, it really allows us to not only do things that we wouldn't have been able to do, which this will allow us to do, but also take those things that we knew we could do and accelerate that, move that forward more quickly.
Doctors and medical personnel are also excited about Greater Hazleton Health Alliance's new parent company. Vice President of Medical Affairs Anthony Valent says the merger is happening to make the center bigger and better.
So I see this as more of just an extension of what we've already been doing, and we're coming together for clinical reasons and for the ability to deliver a better quality of care.
President and CEO of Jihad, James Edwards, says the merger could mean the expansion of several services at the General Hospital, including orthopedics, cancer treatments, vascular, and cardiac treatments.
We're using technology, using the relationships and developing processes and procedures to make sure that the patients in this community are getting great access to care.
There's a whole host of specialists that Hazleton Hospital doesn't offer. Now those treatment centers may be relocating closer to home.
Hazleton General already offers the community a variety of services here at the hospital, but hopefully with this merger there'll be less spaces on this wall and more specialized services for the community.
Potentially those specialized centers could come to this area, but folks won't see huge changes for at least a year.
We've got to get through all the regulatory approvals. That could take 6, 9, 12 months. There's certainly a lot of work to be done.
And more specialized centers means more higher paying job opportunities and perhaps a new hospital within the next 6 years as well. As for the name Greater Hazleton Health Alliance, Edwards says it's too soon to say how that will be changed because of the merger. Christina Papa, News 13, Greater Hazleton.
It took less than 2 hours for a Luzerne County jury to convict a Berwick woman of torching the Lantern Lane apartment complex. A jury found 44-year-old Gail Schneider of Berwick guilty on all 5 counts of arson, criminal mischief, and other related charges. The arson took place in September 2010 in Cunningham and destroyed Lantern Lane, a $1.5 million apartment complex. The defense argued there was reasonable doubt in the case, saying Schneider neither had the motive nor the opportunity to commit that act. But prosecutors convinced jurors that Schneider had a clear dislike of the landlord after she was evicted from the apartment for vandalizing another tenant's car door. Schneider is currently in the Luzerne County Correctional Facility. She'll be sentenced by Luzerne County Judge Dave Lupus at a later date. A former Schuylkill County tax collector will spend at least a year and a half behind bars after admitting he stole nearly $400,000 in taxpayer money. 73-year-old William Wildonner of Barnesville was given the sentence after entering into a plea agreement. Wildonner pleaded guilty to 3 counts of theft by failure to make required disposition. And Wildonner had been the Ryan Township tax collector for 35 years. Police say they first realized something was wrong when he notified the Mahanoy Area School District that he'd lost a $171,000 tax deposit. Wildonner will also make $377,000 in restitution, which will be divided among the school district, Schuylkill County, and Ryan Township. Well, the audit is in, and it says Hazleton ended 2011 with a deficit that almost reached $2.4 million. But as Matthew Petrillo tells us, the city made some strong financial strides in the last 2 years.
Sifting through Hazleton City's 2011 financial statements, Mayor Joe Yannuzzi looks pleased about the progress that's been made. He's managed to help the city reverse a trend of borrowing money it doesn't have. But the city is still swimming deep in red ink.
Budgeting is actually a educated guess.
Mayor Yannuzzi says city officials can project what the city will spend in a coming year, but can only estimate the amount of revenue it receives.
Because it's not a one income, it's several different incomes. You have taxes, you have permits, you have tickets, fines, and fluctuates.
But that's not exactly how the city accumulated almost $2.4 million in debt in 2011. Borrowing costs dramatically added onto its debt from previous years. It began in 2009, when the city borrowed $1.5 million. It repaid it by borrowing another $2.5 million. But then in 2011, the city borrowed even more, $3 million, to repay the $2.5 million. And once again, it borrowed another $5.6 million in 2011 to repay the $3 million in loans and expenses from previous years.
Really was a snowball. I mean, it was an accumulation over the years.
City Administrator Steve Hahn says since Mayor Yannuzzi came into City Hall in 2011, he began to turn things around.
If there's $1 worth of expenditures, there is $1 that would be on the revenue side to pay for that.
Now, city officials approved a 45% property tax increase that was implemented earlier this year. They hope it will keep up with the rising cost of services, but it might not be enough for future challenges. The city can't always anticipate if it doesn't bring in enough revenue or if it gets sued, as has happened before. But Mayor Yannuzzi is working to tackle the city's budget problems head-on by being proactive. For instance, he's trying to get audits done within 6 months to a year, instead of it being done 2 years later.
If we get an audit, we try to react to it.
This year, the city didn't borrow any money, which the mayor says he's trying to avoid. Matthew Petrillo, News 13, Hazleton.
And coming up on News 13, at last a warm-up on the way. We'll tell you when and how much in News 13 weather. But first, helping a family recover from tragedy with a little Zumba and a celebrity guest. We'll show you who it was just ahead on News 13. And let's check the winning midday lottery numbers. Good luck if you play. The daily number, 024, Big 4, 9587. Quinto, 11726. And the treasure hunt, 3, 7, 12, 18, 13. Hope you won.
Good evening, everyone, and here's tonight's Talk of the Town report. First tonight, the Northeast Animal Hospital will be holding a rabies clinic Saturday, May 11th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Cost is $10 per pet, and each pet must be 3 months old and on a leash or in a carrier. Proceeds will benefit the Boy Scout Troop 473. For more info, please call 570-636-1877. Our next announcement, the Legacy Music Festival will be held in Scranton Friday, April 26th at 6 p.m. The festival will be held in the Casey Ballroom of the Hilton Scranton, and cost is only $10 at the door. 4 bands will be playing along with 3 acoustic acts and a DJ, plus food and beverages will be available at the door. Proceeds benefit the Red Cross. For more info, call 757-955-4437. And finally, the 25th annual Run for the Sun motorcycle run will be held Saturday, May 4th. The CMA group will be leaving Bonanza at the Laurel Mall at 10:45 a.m. and registration begins at 9:30. For more info, please call 570-788-2636. That's tonight's Talk of the Town. News 13 would like to send sincere condolences to the family and friends of these recently departed. Lottie Wanda Wachachowski, formerly of West Hazleton. Funeral is Friday at 9 a.m. from the Furo Funeral Home. Friends may call Thursday from 6 to 9 p.m. Lucille E. Karachanan of Hazleton. Arrangements will be announced by the Joseph B. Conahan Funeral Home. And Joan M. Wassel of Hazleton. Funeral is Saturday at 9 a.m. from the Joseph A. Moran Funeral Home. Friends may call Friday from 6 to 8 p.m. Tonight's obituaries have been brought to you by the Smilax Floral Shop located on 15th Street in Hazleton. For delivery to all local funeral homes, call 570-454-0111. And by Mia's, once again, the Hazleton area's #1 rated restaurant. Call 570-501-3410 for information on luncheon packages.
It was a tragic accident that took the lives of 2 little girls and touched the hearts of everybody in Schuylkill County. As Stephanie Gorney tells us, the community has come together to support their family in many ways, and last night got some help from a former reality TV star.
It's been said before that tragedies bring out the best in people, and one community in our area is continuing to prove that theory. Over 100 people and even reality television star Kate Gosselin came together at Trinity Lutheran Church in Pottsville to raise money for Victoria Place and her family. Victoria lost her 2 daughters to injuries suffered in a car crash last month. Gosselin is originally from around the area and was willing to help raise support for the family in any way that she can.
Helping out in any way, but especially close to home. Things hit close to home, and it's great to be able to just hop over here and meet more people, do whatever I can, and support this family. They need it.
Organizers who are close to the Place family say that while it is still tough to understand what happened, the family is very grateful for all the support that they have received.
We spoke to Victoria earlier, and she's ecstatic. She texted me all day today. A couple times told me she's in tears, saying she can't believe this, and I don't know how many times she thanked us. And Renee, she's like, tell Renee, and so she just is so appreciative of the community support. And this is her first event that she actually came out to you know, because it was very hard for her.
Kate was on hand to give autographs and take pictures, and the event also featured a silent auction and something that everyone loves, Zumba.
Easiest way for us to raise money. We've done it before. We just wanted to hold a regular Zumba class and just donate the proceeds from the class to the family.
All the money raised at this event is going to the Victoria Place Fund, which helps the family out with various expenses. Stephanie Gorney, News 13, Pottsville.
And time now for our regional weather from the National Weather Service. Checking the radar, that's all ground reflection from the radar out of Binghamton. Beyond that, nothing but clear skies and sunshine. And our creative condition is perfect for today. It's by Megan Paisley, a first grader at Valley Elementary, and she says she's feeling sunny. There she is outside near her house and some pretty flowers under a beautiful sun. Now let's take a look at News 13 weather from the National Weather Service for Greater Hazleton for tonight. Partly cloudy, but it'll be cold with a low down to 32 degrees. And for Friday, sunny with a high near 58, clearing cold at night, low around 36. Then Saturday, here we go. Mostly sunny with a high near 63, nighttime low around 39. Then for Sunday, mostly sunny with a high again 63, low around 42. Then for Monday, partly sunny with a high around 61 degrees. On to Schuylkill County for tonight, increasing clouds and cold with a low down to 34 degrees. Then for Friday, sunny with a high near 60, cold at night though still with a low around 34. For Saturday, mostly sunny with a high of 63, nighttime low down to 41. Sunday, mostly sunny with a high up to 65 and a low around 43. And then for Monday, partly sunny with a high near 63. Well, today is the Hazleton Chambers Community Reading Day, and one member of our SSPTV family dropped by her son's classroom to share a story.
What are you afraid of? Well, for one thing, said Frida, I am afraid of the snake.
Our own Janine Mazurkevich read a story about doing things she'd never done before, and Mrs. Mussoline's second grade class at Valley Elementary School. On Community Reading Day, representatives from 50 area businesses read to first and second graders throughout the Hazleton area school district, some local parochial schools, as well as in the Head Start program. Along with encouraging the kids to read, the purpose of the day is to encourage local businesses to partner with Education for Projects. The Reading Day also has support from Penn State Hazleton. And still ahead on News 13, before the rains came, there was some time to get in some softball. Fred Barletta with the scores in News 13 Sports. And then from the Celtics to an uncertain future, the former pro brings his story of addiction and recovery to Schuylkill County when News 13 continues.
SSPTV Sports on News 13 with Fred Barletta Jr.
Well, the Hazleton area Cougars still looking for that Division I lead championship in the Wyoming Valley Conference. They took a little bit of a hit yesterday because they went up to Wyoming area and couldn't come away with the road win. They led in this game 3-2, but Wyoming area came storming back. Despite Tony Craig swinging a hot bat, Cougars on the short end of things. They're now a game behind the Berwick Bulldogs. Down in the Schuylkill League, speaking of Bulldogs, Tri-Valley, they get the best of Marion. 7-3 the final there. Marion, they just need a break. They need to catch their breath a little bit after all these games. Here was the upset of the day, though. The undefeated Lady Cougars, they got upended by the Berwick Lady Dogs. 6-5 final in that one. So now they're tied with Nanticoke, atop Division I of the Wyoming Valley Conference. Down in the Schuylkill League, Tri-Valley, easy work putting away Marion. And boy, Minersville, if they're not the best team down in the Schuylkill League, I don't know. 14-0 drubbing over Mahanoy area. Pottsville sneaks by North Schuylkill. Let's go to volleyball. Indoors at the McGeehan Gymnasium, Hazleton area outlasts Lake Lehman 3-2. And Wyoming Seminary, who's always pretty good in tennis, they went in straight sets over Hazleton area. On the track, this is hard to believe. This is the final home meet of the year for Hazleton area, and they made the most of it. The boys running away from Crestwood, and the girls, well, not far behind. Emily Malone, a new record for the school in the pole vault, 9 feet 6 inches. I don't know. That's kind of nosebleed territory. That's impressive. Here's our schedule today. It's really a light schedule. MMI home at Northwest, Monoy area, and Tamaqua going on the road to Pocono Mountain. And softball, same thing with Tamaqua, Monoy area. Hazelton area, Pocono Mountain East, that game is postponed. Not because of the weather, because of scheduling conflicts. They're going to do it next week. And in tennis, same thing with MMI in Hazelton area. Russ Kanzler, he did not play yesterday. He'll be back in action. He has not hit the ball in only 3 of the Tides games this year. Kyle Landis didn't pitch as well. The Rail Riders, well, the prosperity short-lived. They're back to the 500 mark after a loss to Columbus in Indianapolis over the Iron Pigs. In the first game, the Iron Pigs in the nightcap. Same teams on our schedule for today in International League Baseball. And we're brought to you by Bottlenecks, where tonight it's Rack 'em Up Rib Night. They're racking up their flavor with fire-grilled ribs. You get a half rack of meaty, fall-off-the-bone St. Louis-style spare ribs, and it is smothered in that sweet barbecue sauce. They fire-grill it and serve it with bottomless fries for just $9.95. And oh, don't forget, huge imported beer selection, pool, dart, shuffleboard. Good time waiting for you up at Bottlenecks.
Well, it's been quite a journey from point guard for the legendary Boston Celtics to the depths of drug addiction and to recovery. As Mike Madry tells us, a former pro took to the court in Schuylkill County last night to spread the word of hope.
All I do is drink and smoke. I'll never take it that far.
It's not every day that locals get to see a former starting point guard for the Boston Celtics speak at the Marian Catholic High School, but residents did just that yesterday. This speech wasn't about how Chris Herron glimmered in the NBA. Actually, it's quite the opposite.
You know, over the last 3 years, I've traveled all across the country. This is actually my second time back in this region. I've spoke at Jim Thorpe, here tonight, Stroudsburg, Hatterboro, Horsham, a lot of communities within a certain range.
Chris Herron was a projected first-round draft pick in the NBA during the early 2000s. He was featured on Sports Illustrated magazine as a gifted, aspiring athlete during college. However, that all changed for Herron. Battling multiple drug problems, Herron became sick with his addiction, forcing an abrupt halt on was once a prosperous NBA career.
Anything can happen with a few bad choices. You know, I had no idea that one pill would put me on heroin for 8 years. You know, and that's my message to a lot of the kids.
Herron spoke for over an hour, sharing stories with the audience that were emotional, jaw-dropping, and inspiring. He now funds Project Purple, a foundation established trying to push people who may be sick, battling an addiction. Herron hopes his story can open eyes for everyone, and his message was clear. Herron says the first step in the road to recovery is getting help, and life after addiction is well worth the battle.
Get help. Life gets easier. You know, the beginning is rough, but the doors that open in the life you can live is second to none in recovery.
Chris Herron made it. It's a true blessing he's here. During his Bramley days battling addiction, Herron says he died 3 different times. Herron notes he's been sober since August 2005. Along with his foundation, Project Purple, Herron wants to make a difference and help out anyone he can, not just battling addiction, but as he says it, battling different struggles in life itself. If you want any information on Project Purple, you can visit goprojectpurple.org. Mike Madry, News 13, Hometown.
If you ever had trouble in reading or math, these are the kids to go to at Holy Family Academy. Welcome to this week's Family Time. I'm here with students that peer tutor other students in grades below them in the same grades. Kayla, explain to me, what is peer tutoring?
People, like kids from all grades, come up to help. If they need help, we'll help them, and we'll get assigned a kid, and they'll come to Miss Pauline's room, and we'll just help them with their homework or anything.
Okay, perfect. So you do a couple of different grades. Who do you tutor, and what do you tutor?
You usually get a different kid every week. Some kids stay with the same kid that comes every week, but usually we just help them study and do their homework.
And then there's obviously, you guys are the older 8th graders, but some of the younger kids also tutor kids. Can you explain, why do you like tutoring?
Well, the kids are nice, and some of them just need help with their homework, and we just like doing it.
Yeah, so you enjoy doing it? Yeah, very cool. And what about you? Who do you tutor, and why do you like doing it?
I usually tutor in 1st grade, Connor, in math and whatever else he has for homework.
It just, if they need help, you help them.
Exactly. So I know a lot of kids, all of these kids are peer tutors, but can you explain what's the best part, to tutor other kids?
After you get done and like they understand something, they get like happy and it's really cute.
And I bet that it also helps you learn more things because you have to know the answers to some of the questions.
Yes.
All right. Very cool. Well, good job, guys. Keep up the good work. That's this week's Family Time. We'll see you next week.
And that's News 13 for your Thursday. Thank you so much for joining us. You can catch this newscast again with rebroadcasts throughout tonight, or just go to News 13's website any old time, SSPTV.com, where you'll always find the local and regional news you need and the community news you want. For the entire News 13 team, thank you so much for joining us. I'm Kathy Bazinski. Have a great night.